Hi everybody, Coach I am Nava here once again, and we are going to analyze the one of the best game happened in the round number 5 of the ongoing Superbet Chess Classic Romania between Super Grandmasters Gukesh D of India and Abdusattorov of Uzbekistan. I really admired in this game because of the fighting spirit element until the last drop of their pieces. Let's get started. Gukesh played d4, Abdu played d5, knight f3, knight f6, g3. Fianchetto system approaches. Then Abdusattorov decided to play c6, the Slav defense formation, bishop g2, bishop f5, that is the Slav bishop, and knight h4. Immediately, Gukesh disrupt the black's plan. And Abdu played bishop e6, another interesting move. He blocks his e7 to play e6. And how about the bishops on f8 development? Let us see. Castles, g6. Okay? So, Abdusattorov wants to play bishop g7 as fianchetto system. Bishop g7, c3, castles, rook e1. Alright, to play e4 later on to get more breadth and space in the center. a5. Okay, Abdusattorov wants to play a4 to get more space in the queen side. And Gukesh didn't him allow to play a4. And he played the a4. So, to neutralize the space. And that was the novelty of this game. Before, knight hf3 and e4 has been played. Okay? So, a4 was the new move of this game. And knight bd7, e4, captures, and bishop d5. Now, the bishop becomes very strong. Knight takes f6, knight takes, and bishop f1. So, Gukesh wants to preserve his light-squared bishop for the meantime. Maybe he wants to play c4 later on. Then, queen d7, knight g2. One of the ideas behind bishop f1 is not only by playing c4, but to play knight g2 and maneuvering going to f4 square. Bishop e6, knight f4, and bishop f5. All right, good move. And that is the original control of the Slav bishop. Knight d3. So look at the maneuvers path. Knight h4, g2, knight f4, knight d3. That is so cute and controls c5 and e5 squares. Now, knight d5, strengthening the knight. Queen f3, queen c7, yeah, to avoid the tempo attack with knight e5, something like that. And h4, so white intends to play h5 to weaken the black's king side, and h5 to neutralize it. Now, knight e5, e6, queen e2. What's the plan of queen e2? Maybe Gukesh wants to play f3, then g4, trapping the bishop. And c5, all right, to soften the white's solid center. And Gukesh decided to play d takes c5. Of course, if white allows the black to capture on d4 and it becomes isolated, and probably the long-term problem for white. That's why immediately he captures the pawn on c5. Then rook d8. So no need to capture immediately the pawn on c5 because it's weak. And rook d8 with tempo development. Now knight c4, bishop g4, then queen c2. Obviously, white couldn't play f3 because of the coming queen takes g3 hanging pawn. So queen c2, queen takes c5, queen b3 threatening the pawn on b7 and b6 to support it, and bishop g2, bishop f5. Okay, so why this move becomes bad according to Stockfish Computer Engine? So better was king h7. Okay? But it's quite hard to see by our naked eye on that positional move. So let's go back with bishop f5. Now bishop g5. Okay? For me, it was an interesting move by Gukesh. But according to Computer Engine, white misses the great chance in this position. So, can you please guess the brilliant move that has been missed by Gukesh in this position? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think and analyze. Then after that, I will show you that beautiful move. Start. Thank you so much for your effort. Congrats for knight takes b6. Gukesh missed that move. If queen takes b6, then we have bishop takes knight. Very nice for white. Okay? So capture, capture, and white has an extra pawn. Very clear. Okay? Now let's go back. If knight takes b6, then we have bishop e3. So queen c4, capture, rook b8, queen takes a5, and rook takes b2. Although, the pawn on c3 is weak here, but after queen c5, captures, capture, then rook c8, and bishop b4. But the point here is, look at the very strong pass pawn for white. And with the perfect square on a8 because of the light squared bishop, fianchetto. Okay? Yeah. So better was knight takes b6, but Gukesh played bishop g5, and very timingly, Abdusattorov played rook b8. So he smelled the danger on his b6. That's why he played rook b8. Now knight e3, knight takes, bishop takes, and queen c7. Now queen b5 to get more space. Slightly better only for white. e5, rook d1, king h7, queen c6, then accepts the exchange, capture, capture, then rook d6, rook d8 to neutralize it, then pile up, battery, capture, capture, then king g7, bishop b5. All right, to for the meantime to paralyze the rook, defending the pawn on b6, and bishop e6. Now king f1. The king is the mighty piece in the endgame. King f8, king e2, king e7, rook c6. So intending to play rook c7 to control the 7th rank, but Abdusattorov controls the 7th rank. Very powerful move. Bishop a6, rook a7, then bishop b5. Okay, he goes back with the b5 square. What will happen if rook takes the pawn on b6? Rook takes a6. Brilliant move. Capture, then bishop c4. Double attack. Okay? So, always be careful with that kind of tactical blow. Now, bishop b5, rook b7. Bishop a6 once again. Rook a7. So, only one move becomes threefold repetition. But Gukesh decided to play on with bishop c8. Yeah, I really admired his fighting spirit. And accepts the exchange. Rook b7, intending to play b5 later on. And king d3. Rook d7, king e2, then rook d6. Rook c7, checking e6. b4. Now, in this endgame, as much as possible, if white produces strong pass pawn in the queen side, much better. But in this position, Abdusattorov surprised Gukesh on his spectacular move. Puzzle number 2, can you please guess that perfect move, right timing, that has been played by Abdusattorov? In a couple of seconds, I will show you that perfect move. Start. Thank you so much once again to your effort. b5 is the perfect move. Okay? Then a takes b5, rook d4. Another perfect move. b6, rook takes pawn, b7. So rook behind your opponent's pass pawn. Okay? Always remember that. f6, king d3, then g5. Of course, black needs some counterplay in the king side. Captures, captures, then rook h7, h4. Captures, captures, then rook takes h4. Sacrifice the rook. Of course, you have to take the b7 pass pawn. Now f4, check first, then king e2, then exchange, rook b5, rook e4, rook e5, exchange. I really admire this kind of draw. Okay, rather than a grid draw, threefold repetition, they brought their efforts to play on, and that is the exact model of drawn game. For me, How about you? Comment down in the section below. All right, thank you so much, guys. And today is their round number 6 game. And we're gonna wait for the hot battles there. And we're going to analyze the best games that could happen. Okay, so thank you so much. I'll see you next time.